From now until the 14th, my code ESPRESSO gets you 30% off your entire order at gfuel.com. If you want to check out a new flavor, grab a restock, or just try it out, be sure to use code ESPRESSO for 30% off your order. Link in the description below. Operation Apocalypse Z kicked off today for PlayStation 4 users. It's coming next week for Xbox One and PC, but with the update today that we got quite a bit of stuff to talk about. So as always with the update videos here, we're going to break down everything that changed in the game with the changeover to Operation Apocalypse Z. Tomorrow we might be breaking down our thoughts and discussing a little bit further, but today we're just going to be talking about the cold hard facts, everything that changed, what you can expect to see when you jump on, and everything that comes along with it. So throughout the next couple of days, we're going to have a ton of stuff relating to Operation Apocalypse Z and some things stemming here outside of that, continuing our coverage and jumping into a lot more stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, maybe considering that subscribe button. If you're not, 63% of viewers are not currently, which if you want that daily notification, the content will still be here, but that option is there for you guys if you want to see and stay up to date as much as possible. That said, let's jump right into it. The first thing that you'll be prompted with on the console side here at this is actually the update itself. Update 1.20 went live today, naturally, and this was about a 12.7 gigabyte update. So depending on how fast your download speeds are, and if you're on PlayStation 4, you have to account for the copying time as well. Might vary on when you can jump into the game right after activating the download. But that said, once it is installed, you can jump in and start to see two things right off the bat. Firstly, there's a new loading screen that will reflect Operation Apocalypse Z. As with all the other loading screens previously, we had Days of Summer get one, Spectre Rising get one, Grand Heist get one, Absolute Zero get one. You get the picture here with this one. So this is totally on par with everything we've seen so far, just a small little subtle change. But then also you'll end up seeing a new main menu with a new featured game modes, that being for MP, Sticks and Stones, for Blackout, Alcatraz Portal Horde, and then Alpha Omega for Zombies, with new shop icons as well for the shop itself and the black market. Now, some curious things before we jump into this here to let you guys know about. This is actually the shortest event split that we've seen so far. It's only 28 days in total, but naturally, again, because we're past that 28-day mark, it's 27 days and a few hours and change, and it will go until Tuesday, the 6th of August. So we'll jump in and break down the black market and everything a little bit later, but you'll have 40 tiers in 27 days to work out, which in terms of just simply the tier skips isn't all that half bad, but we'll get to some stuff here whether or not it's worth it in a little bit. But that said, let's talk about the main modes of the changes that came along with this one. For a lot of you guys, I'm sure you're primarily interested in MP, so let's talk about the MP front here up first. Multiplayer now introduces us to a brand new specialist. Again, Reaper is now playable, and it's actually a different variation of Reaper than we may be accustomed to from Black Ops 3. It's a prequel version, and he's a bit beefier of a Reaper specialist, but he's different here, and you'll actually see also in Blackout, there are two different characters. One's Black Ops 4's version, one's Black Ops 3's. But anyways, we end up having the ability to earn this at Tier 1 in the Contraband stream, naturally, as we've seen with all other specialists introduced so far. Now, Reaper ends up having two things that are quite curious about him, that equipment and also that weapon. The equipment is honestly pretty powerful. It is something that it lasts a while, and the radius is massive. It's like an anti-sensor dart, we'll put it that way. It's called the Shroud, but it's the deployable jamming device that will conceal the area from the enemy's minimaps. Now, unless you're in the center of it, it's not going to take up your entire minimap, but you can end up seeing it's almost like a bubble shield kind of that is just blacked out on the minimap. So you'll come up to it and you'll see that, well, it's there, and you won't see inside that circle, but still the peripheries that are outside of that you can see on your minimap. But it is something that it lasts, again, a long time, and it does actually black out everything. So it's very useful. It's going to be something that's going to help be that anti-information equipment that we talked about yesterday, and I like it so far, but it's a little bit annoying to play against, not going to lie. The weapon itself, though, is the Scythe, and this is, again, a machine gun, massive thing, and it's quite weird how it works. Hipfire is a very low rate of fire. ADS is much faster. Both of them honestly kill insanely fast, but obviously one's a little more accurate than the other. But the transition time is where it's going to get you. It's about a half-second delay before you can start shooting, and before you see that transition in the fire rate as well, from going from hipfire to ADS. So you might have to play around with that a little bit and get used to it a little bit more, but that's something that's there, and it's honestly, Reaper's fun. Again, I don't know if he'll be my main, but I do like seeing the kill bot in Black Ops 4. Outside of that, we did see that the 3 Black Ops pass maps were added into the game, that being Der Schatten, the Austrian town on the edge of Der Eisendrache, Remnant, the Museum of Unnatural History, and all sorts of zombies lore in that, and then Havana from Black Ops making their way into the rotation, and also in the featured playlist, which we'll talk about on PlayStation 4 in just a second, those available for Black Ops pass holders right now. Sticks and Stones was also added into the game as the main featured playlist. This is a free-for-all mode where players can use the crossbows, ballistic knives, and the combat axes, and the score will vary depending on what you end up getting. Crossbows and ballistic knives for the projectile kills are 100 points per kill. Combat axes, I believe, were 50, and they also bankrupt the player as they normally did. They reset your enemy's score all the way back down to 0, and then the UAV will periodically be going. I think it was a 30-second to a minute sweep here, that from what was described yesterday with the stream, and that was something the score leader actually ends up having a gold dot on the minimap instead of the standard red. So be on the lookout. If you're top of that leaderboard, people are going to be gunning for you. So in terms of technical changes, not all that much was done actually here at this, because we normally see that there's quite a bit done for weapon balancing each patch, but the only thing that was actually adjusted was the Damon 3XB, in which this ended up reducing the 6-hit kill range by 5 meters and the 7-hit kill range by 6 meters. So a very slight nerf here at this, but everything else, weapon-wise and balancing, was completely untouched. In terms of playlist updates, the only other things that were changed out here content-wise for MP, PlayStation 4 ends up having Sticks and Stones, the map pack mosh pit again, featuring Der Schatten, Remnant, and Havana, Prop Hunt, Bolt Action Bare Bones, and the Bare Bones Deathmatch mosh pit. Xbox One has Stockpile, Prop Hunt, Bolt Action Bare Bones Deathmatch mosh pit, and Endurance Chaos mosh pit, with again the same similar featured playlist to follow next week when the content is actually introduced. Jumping over to the Blackout side of things, we end up seeing that we have two big key additions here at this one: the return of Alcatraz and also the Haunting Fog, brand new map variation, and also the standard map is changed as well. So the Haunting Fog is a very foggy, low visibility, limited time mode playlist here, which is a upped version of the standard Blackout map. The map itself is darker, cloudy, a little less visibility, and then obviously whenever you're in the Haunting Fog, it's really tough to see depending on where you're at. But the regular map isn't as bad, but still I think visibility is much lower than we've seen it before. If I'm totally honest, you guys could have a completely differing opinion, and that is totally fine, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Haunting Fog this time around. I liked the idea when it was proposed, and what we saw yesterday I was a bit skeptical. I figured, you know what, that's probably the worst that we'll end up seeing it out by Hydro Dam, but it is very limited in terms of visibility, and we thought camping was bad on the regular Blackout map. Man, it is another story in the Haunting Fog. But I digress. Outside of that, the regular Blackout map, again, isn't all that bad. Still not necessarily my favorite cup of tea. I'll play it, but it's not what I would call perfect in my ideal map, but it's a change-up no less. It is what it is, and I'll learn to deal with it. Alcatraz Nightfall, though, is something that's a little bit different as well, because obviously it's shrouded in nightfall. The map is much darker. The visibility in some areas is very minimal. One thing that I really had a problem with, though, in terms of Alcatraz Nightfall playing this, was that if you were, say, outrunning the zone and there happened to be people in the zone, they 1000% have the advantage there for you, because the way the lighting works globally, that wall of zone is no longer transparent or even semi-transparent. It's just a wall of reflecting blue. Meanwhile, in the zone, you can still see outside of it. So it is 1000% something that you don't want to get into, and I really do hope that something is adjusted here with this one. But for the time being, we're just going to have to deal with it. The other big part is that naturally all zombies tracking in AI is completely off. They can go anywhere, so that threw me off a little bit. I thought that I saw somebody standing in the middle of a field at one point, but it turned out to be just a zombie. Other things include the new Brutus boss to end up opening up the box, and then also a Hellhound spawn, which, by the way, if you end up killing Brutus and unlocking the mystery box, think about the Blightfather from the original Blackout zombie event spawn, but kind of like half that. He dropped a ton of stuff, including a couple of different trauma kits, so you do get additional things on top of the mystery box itself, but other than that, plays exactly the same, redeploys, want to be the last one standing. It's a lot of fun, but other than the lighting change, the new wall for the zone, some new zombies wonder weapons that were added in, and also those new AI and different boss zombies, fundamentally it's the same thing. Additionally, there was the outfit mission for the Numbers uniform for Reaper added in, the new Reaper version, not the Black Ops Pass version. This, you end up having to find the ocular sensor, which it tasks you then with getting 115 kills on enemies within the first 60 seconds of landing in a match, and it will give you the progress that you've made throughout the entirety of your Blackout career, and it also thankfully tracks from the very beginning, not from today when the item was introduced. So for me, you end up seeing that it's listed with over 800 kills, and so I by and far exceeded those expectations needed for that one. But you also have to place top 3 in the match, and I was in duos playing with this. I don't know if it's going to be changing different placement for finishers depending on the game mode, so solos, duos, and quads, as some others do, but I personally found it with a top 3 challenge in duos, and then you have to finish with the item in your inventory. The outfit itself, though, looks definitely awesome. I definitely want to find that one again and pick it up and make sure I complete it. But then we also see that some subtle things changed, where also zombies-themed music now plays at the beginning of the regular maps, and also Alcatraz. New humiliations were added in PlayStation 4, and also the featured playlists themselves were updated, so you again have the Alcatraz, Portals, Horde, and also the Fog, plus duos, solos, and quads. Jumping over to zombies, the final thing content-wise of the main 3 modes that were added in and adjusted here with this, zombies obviously got Alpha Omega, the next introduction into the Ether storyline, and also DLC 3 overall. So a new map available finally for players here at this one. Honestly, I played a little bit here of this. I got my first run-throughs, really did enjoy it, and I truthfully haven't played as much zombies as I would like to say that I have within Black Ops 4, but looking around, seeing some other people's takes on it, as a casual player in Black Ops 4, I actually really enjoyed this map so far. It's a little bit more colorful, I think, than what we've seen previously. Maybe not cinematically something as grand as what we saw in, say, Ancient Evil, where it's an entire underground city and you see that skybox where you're caved in underground. That's pretty cool. But I don't know, something about this map I just really enjoyed and had a good time playing around with. Definitely gonna jump on and play it again a couple of more times here with this, even though, again, not being the biggest zombies player in Black Ops 4 right now, I did enjoy it. So jump on and try that out if you do have the Black Ops Pass. We also ended up getting the Blood Wolf Bite perk for this DLC as well. We got 2 epic elixirs added, that being Phoenix Up and Head Drama. For PlayStation 4 users, there's a brand new version of the classic zombie song Damned that will play in the lobby. And also there's new support for black market weapons and new Mark II weapons. Now, talking black market, that's probably where the most substantial of stuff ended up going to. We're going to talk about this in a couple of different ways. Again, just giving you the raw information, maybe breaking down our thoughts if I'm still really feeling it tomorrow. But as for the black market, we did get a brand new contraband stream here that, again, as we mentioned earlier in the video, is only 40 tiers as opposed to just the 50 that we've seen before, and even the 100 or 200 that we saw even before that. So this will end up offering up a couple of things. You got a couple of uniforms. You do actually have, surprisingly, a Mastercraft in the contraband stream, that being the Wundergewehr 115 Koshka Mastercraft. But after that, it's kind of it. We do have an Ultra Weapon Bribe at tier 40, which again is that max tier, but no weapon guaranteed there. We went from 3 weapons in the contraband stream with Mastercrafts, reactive camos, blackout characters, and today got a couple of uniforms, a Mastercraft, and just an Ultra Weapon Bribe. No weapons anymore. No weapons, rather, guaranteed that you have right up front given to you. You got a chance of a weapon, but yeah. That's where we're at. The Reaver C86 auto crossbow and the Argus shotgun are both now available in reserves. I somehow got stupid lucky with one of my cases that I had, and I ended up getting the Reaver actually out of that. The bribes that I had saved up gave me nothing new from this, so I ended up getting weapons from the last operation. So don't have the Argus. I hear it's not the greatest thing and not necessarily worth going for, but that was an opinion I heard on probably the bare or minimal attachment version of the Argus. We end up seeing that we have new weapon camos, Mark II weapons, zombie-themed outfits, and a lot more available within the black market and reserves, which again, you can watch that trailer to get an idea of everything that comes along with that. M Shadows, the blackout characters, available in there as well. Then that actually added in 200 plus items here on top of an already 1,100 item loot pool. So your odds are getting increasingly slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. But outside of that, the other thing added to the black market was the shop items. This was now a complete refresh. Everything that you saw, those 10 to 11 items or plus more that you had available to buy as of last week and even as of yesterday have refreshed out. It's a brand new clean slate here at this one. We have the reactive camo of the weaponized 115 back in the shop. To me, this one's not necessarily worth it. To me, it's just kind of different hues on the regular 115, and I think that there are much better reactive camos out there, but up to you personally. Again, totally your call here at this one. There's a new Spectre Prepper outfit, which is honestly, I gotta say, really cool. I think the new Gearhead Mastercraft for the ICR is available. Some of these coming along with multiple reserve crates as well. The Survivor Pack is the new starter pack here for this season. It comes with a Danny Trejo Blackout skin, a jump pack, a charm, and a few reserve crates as well. One thing, curiously though, that I did notice as well is that the display for the tier bonuses haven't reset as of last operation with this one. It doesn't seem like the tiers have the bonus listed. Like for me, I ended up having 3 special orders active from last operation, so I had 15 at the end of it, and then I ended up getting the Gearhead Mastercraft, which gave me another 5%, so it brought me to what was displayed a total of a 20% tier boost bonus, but it didn't feel like it. So I think that's bugged, and we haven't ever seen those carry over, so I'd imagine it's bugged. And a couple other issues that I ended up seeing were case progression and contracts being buggy, and apparently that's been fixed out. Treyarch ended up tweeting that out. I saw a few other freezing issues, and there's one huge, honestly, game-breaking issue with Reaper and Blackout right now, which I honestly don't want to bring too much attention to because it is so cheesy. It is stupid. But that is everything. The update here today changed with the changeover to Apocalypse Z, the brand new operation within Black Ops 4, and again, coming next week for Xbox One and PC. Thursday, we're going to end up seeing the PC update probably dropping for you guys on that platform, but that said, that's everything. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is there anything in particular that you're very fond of? Anything that you don't like in particular? Me being everything added in reserves. Honestly, like, pretty much 90% of the cool stuff out of this operation is added in reserves. But anything that you guys have to say, feel free to let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 4, MP, Blackout, Zombies. We got you covered the best of updates, news, information, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. So if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, there's the best place to get connected outside of YouTube. I can live on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. Well, that's another way. Thank you guys all so much for watching. My name is Espresso. See you guys later. Take care and peace.